What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jits Radio. We're not going to do an 8 o'clock show tonight because, to be honest with you, we want to watch Ravens-Chiefs. I mean, it's a great football game. We've been watching shitty football for 3 weeks, so why not sit back and enjoy some quality stuff? Thank you to everybody that's been joining us on the live streams and calling in our show. We definitely appreciate it. The support's been overwhelming, and listen, we could not be more thankful. The day after Jets, this is just terrible. It's a miserable experience. The press conferences annoy you after a loss like that to the Colts. You just like Avery Williamson and Bradley McDougall talking about practices and quality of practices and all this stuff. And who gives a shit, man? The proof is in the pudding. You're not tackling. There's no effort. There's no passion. There's no leadership. There's all these different things. And the words don't mean anything. You can't believe in anything. You don't buy into anything. They're just words. Especially McDougall with the way he whiffed on that tackle at the goal line. So whatever, Adam Gase met the media with his same old stuff. And then they asked him about the identity of his offense, and he threw out the injury excuse. And that, at the end of the day, is always a problem with this team. They justify losing. They always find new excuses. There's always scapegoats, no accountability, no leadership, no respect. And when your coach is like that, the players don't buy in, and it's a complete mess. Greg Williams, again, we roasted him yesterday. The defense has been terrible. Top to bottom, this team has just been miserable. They're the worst team in football. They're playing like it week in and week out. And you don't even want to hear about it. Today you go into work and you're just miserable. You don't want to talk about it. You want to talk about all the other exciting games and your fantasy football team and whatever else. So, I guess the biggest topic to come out of last night's show, it created a big debate where Primetime got a lot of heat. I got some heat, and it's Sam Darnold. Now, my honest opinion is there's a disclaimer with Sam Darnold. I understand that Adam Gase and his play calling is horrendous. I understand that he's a bad coach. I understand there's a lot of players injured. I understand all these different things. We get it. You have receivers running the wrong routes. There's all this shit. We understand that. But for me, Sam Darnold as an individual, as a player himself, is not playing well. At some point, we have to hold him accountable. And at some point, this becomes a sink or swim season for him because he's facing a lot of adversity. And now we're almost babying him to the point where we're giving him more excuses. Well, he threw the interception because the receiver didn't run the right route, or the guy fell down, or the sun was in his eyes, or he didn't see this, or his shoelace was untied. At some point, we got to put the big boy shoes on and say, listen, man, you've got to fucking play better, man. You're playing for your career in New York now. Now, I understand the coach could be holding you back. You know what? If he was throwing 30 passes and he had 15 drops, that's fine. But he's not doing that. I mean, yes, Ryan Griffin had an awful drop. The end zone picks, the bad footwork, the technique, all the fundamentals. Yes, Adam Gase takes blame for a lot of this. But Sam Darnold, as a player, has to do the same thing. And you wonder, at what point is there too much damage done where there's no turning back and he becomes a reclamation project where you're you know what? He's developing so many bad habits. Now he's in his head where he's trying too hard and he's doing things wrong. He's doing things wrong consistently. And that's the biggest concern. And that's what you look at for the next 13 weeks. It's is he going to get better? Is he going to keep developing bad habits? Is he point of no return where you're you know what? He legitimately needs to change the scenery. Not a new coach. He needs to get the fuck out of New York. Because right now, the media is after him. The fans are after him. There's all this Trevor Lawrence shit. And sometimes it's just dude, you know what? We failed him so badly. We, not meaning me, because I like the kid. We as an organization, the Jets, ownership, the general manager, the coach, they failed him so miserably that they put him to the point where he is not salvageable in New York, no matter who the coach is. Where you say, you know what? Instead of trying to rebuild Sam in 2021, we just draft somebody else because we can't try to rebuild him and then give him that fat ass contract too. So for me, I'm a Sam Darnold fan. I get it. I like him. I liked him in the draft. I liked everything else. I like his intangible. I like his arm. But I'm done watching this same old shit and everybody giving him excuses for playing poorly. Now there is a portion that says, you know what, it's justified. There's also a portion that says, you know what, kid, you've got to be better. You can't just keep facing adversity. You saw it last year with the Ghost game. He came back out and played well. But then he goes back, he's very, very high and low, which is a young quarterback. But at the same time, we can't keep giving him excuses to just offset poor play, bad mechanics. And then you wonder, is he the one throw a game great quarterback and the rest he's a mediocre guy? Or what is he? We don't know what he is, and he's got to help us define that. Because Adam Gase isn't going to do it. So sometimes as a quarterback, you can outdo a bad coach, or you can show that you have it despite of what's going on around you. Sometimes you got to make the coach better, make the players around you better. And what makes it worse is his demeanor and his body language and all his coach speak he's using. It's this team is just dying a slow death. And Sam's going down with it, and he's not showing much fight. no emotion, no passion. They go in the huddle. It's like, all right, let's go, break. Run the ball 4 yards. Like at some point, you're facing this, and you got to get pissed off and angry. Be like, you know what? You fucks are killing me. Like, you're gonna get me run out of town. You're ruining my career. And you take your own personal pride. Be like, you know what? I gotta fix this shit myself because this coach isn't gonna do it, or this offensive coordinator, which is a complete joke, and Darnold isn't gonna do it. So, in terms of his own personal accountability, Sam has to do it. So this is gonna be interesting to see how this works. You hopefully get some players back. Crowder's a possibility, but even if not, just throw the ball around and try to save your career in New York. Because it's going to get to that point this year. Like, this is it. Because now next year, let's be honest, assuming that fans are back in the stands and everything else, the New York Jets are consumed with money, and ticket sales. Right now, this team's not marketable. If you don't bring in a primetime head coach, like a monumental name, Eric Bieniemy is a popular name. Is Eric Bieniemy going to make you want to buy tickets to the Jets? Probably not. If you go into next year with a team that's still depleted and Sam Darnold, are they going to sell tickets? Maybe not. You bring in a Trevor Lawrence, people are buying tickets. People are going to buy into the hoopla because now everybody's down on Sam. So Sam has to get off his ass and get pissed off at the world and be like, you know what? I'm just going to show everybody that I can play this game and play my way. And just sling it around and bring some fire and passion to this locker room. He needs it. He has to do it. So we'll see what happens. I'm becoming legitimately worried as a Sam Darnold fan. I'm legitimately worried that his time is running out here because there's so many warning signs, so many alarming things you see where it's like they're just going to write him off. They're going to be like, you know what? We fucked up. And now it's like similar to what the Cardinals did with Josh Rosen, where it's like, you know what? We took our shot. Joe Douglas didn't draft him. You know what? It just didn't work out. It's unfortunate. And he's a collateral damage for them moving on. Like, we tried it, but you know what? Instead of spending all this time and energy trying to make Sam better and overcome all the bad things he's learned from his coaching staff, let's just move on from him, get what we can, and bring in somebody else. And that's a damn shame. The Jets have done their best to ruin this quarterback, and now he's going down with him. Like, there's not much resistance. So that's on him. Like, this is, it's the NFL, and you see quarterbacks all across the NFL trying to overcome things and do things, and you fight your way, and everybody keeps giving us the Tannehill, example. But Tannehill got rebuilt somewhere else. Like, that's the difference. Like, for me, I'm starting to honestly believe, unless things significantly change rest season, Sam's best option is to just resurrect somewhere else with a different coaching staff, different team, different town, different fans, different media, because now he can't escape the ghost. Like, on one part of this fan base, to go back to his rookie year when he was throwing the ball over the field against the Texans and Packers and everything else, and then you say, wow, that was 2 years ago. What's really happened since then? The one good game against the Cowboys, played okay against the Raiders, not enough consistency. So that lack of consistency is starting to taint everything that's going on around him. And I don't know. It's so sad to see. It's so disappointing, and I don't understand what Jets ownership is waiting for. This whole shit where they may be interviewing coaches behind the scenes and reaching out and everything else. You could avoid all this nonsense and fire Gase immediately. Give Jim Bob Cooter a chance to help Sam Darnold as soon as possible. Because every day that Adam Gase has his fingerprints on Sam Darnold's game plan, his blueprint, his play calls, everything else, every day that Adam Gase is with him, it's a bad thing. And you got to get him out as fast as possible. Get a different voice in his head. Help you find out what this quarterback is. Because we don't even know what he is. Like, we came into the season saying, what is Sam Darnold? We don't know. The only thing we know is he's going backwards. And when you go backwards in year 3, and you go into year 4 with questions, and you're going to have a top 3 pick or a top 2 pick, it's not a good scenario. Especially when you're going to have probably a new coach, a general manager that's going to probably make a big splash to kind of make his true rebuild where they can try to win as fast as possible. Not good. Not good at all. So I ran it pretty long. Not sure if that made any sense, but thank you again for watching all our videos. I don't even know what's going to happen on Thursday night. My biggest fear, to be honest with you guys, is that the Jets are going to find a way to win this game because the Broncos are destroyed by injuries, and then Adam Gase and his staff take a fucking victory lap. They're like, look, we overcame adversity and we won this game. No, you shit the bed the first 3 weeks, and now you're finally beating a team that's worse than you are in terms of injuries. And now you're happy with yourself. So I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of the excuses. I hope he gets fired as soon as possible. And I'm 1,000% concerned about Sam Darnold and what his future is in this city. And he has got to step it up as a player. He's really, really got to do better. So that's it. Talk to you guys later.